Hi, Steve Arterburn here, and I'm continuing our series on narcissistic personality disorder. And a wonderful person, Patricia Kuhlman, and I wrote this book here, Understanding and Loving a Person with Narcissistic Personality Disorder. And if you want a copy, you can call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. But when we look at why is this happening, what's going on here that this person is so unaware of how unreasonable they are or how bizarre they are. Some people talk about genetics and certain personality traits being inherited from parents. Well, I got to tell you, if you have a narcissistic parent and that's all you see, well, it seems to me that this would be more a case of modeling than genetics. But I've always found that the genetic factor in any condition is usually stronger than we could ever imagine. As I look at my children, I'm just fascinated with the genetic predisposition that they have to certain things that we as their parents have. So maybe there is some kind of genetic or environmental risk factor as to why this happens. But I want to tell you what I've found to be the most common. I think most people would say this. There's a deep wound there that has never been processed or resolved. And this deep wound, well, the way to talk about a deep wound in this day and age is it's a trauma. For instance, let's just say when people talk about the environment around the narcissist, they were bullied. Well, you know, that I don't know if you call that environmental, some do, but really it's the social interaction that becomes in so many different ways destructive. Could be bullying, could be abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse, sexual abuse. But in the background of the narcissist, there is a traumatic event or over a period of time that you just can't ignore. It's not about what's wrong with you, it's more about let's look at the things in the past that might have led to this so we can understand the person better and accept that they're not just deciding to wake up and be as difficult as they are. Now, one of the traumas is neglect. That just makes sense. If you're neglected, well, then you're going to compensate by calling every bit of attention that you can to yourself. Of course, now some people that are neglected, they just cut everybody off and they hide really for the rest of their lives. And it's a really sad existence versus the narcissism. But also, if a person is raised with this obsessive control and they feel like that they're trapped inside these obsessive controlling parents, and then what do? Often they might be attracted to the same thing and they get married. And this is so typical that the compensating behavior would be taking control and calling attention to themselves no matter what the other people say, think, or feel. Another common reality is too much adoration. Too much just everything this child does is wonderful and good and perfect. And the narcissist just can't live up to that. So they act like they're living up to that. And then, of course, rather than adoration, too much criticism. So they come to believe that they're second best. And they may not really decide, but the compensating behavior is to prove that they are okay, that they're not inferior to other people. These are the things that are going on inside of the narcissist. Now, if you wonder if you are, or you wonder if you're married to someone, or you know someone, it takes self-examination. You have to stop long enough to examine yourself and then also let somebody else speak into your life, a counselor, a pastor, somebody. In Lamentations 3:40, we see this. It says, "Let us test and examine our ways, and let us turn back to the Lord. That would be our hope and prayer for every narcissist or someone living with a narcissist. You'd see it, and then you'd want to do something about it, and that would bring you back into an authentic relationship with God. Next time, we're going to talk about what are those things that we could do to help the problem. I'll see you then.